Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Talking Wrestling TXN. It is going with Michael Flecha alongside Anthony the Hitman Florio. Um, my goodness, what a night we had here. So we're gonna just dive right on in. We're gonna kick it off. We're gonna start off with Worlds Collide that went down earlier today from the Kia Forum in Los Angeles, California. Literally in Inglewood. Um, and it was live on YouTube. Not Peacock, not you got to see this one on the house, free live, on YouTube TV. So, and we're gonna start it off with a six-man tag team matchup. Uh, and this one was, I gotta say, one of the most highly anticipated matches. It was, well, first off, I gotta give a lot of props to WWE and AAA for the way that they did this one. It looked amazing. The set and everything else looked incredible. And then here we go. So we started it off with the first fight of the evening, which was Octagon Jr. Octagon Jr., Aerostar, and Mr. Iguana going up against members of the LWO, Dragon Lee and Cruz del Toro and Lince Dorado. Winners of the bout in 14 minutes and 10 seconds was Octagon Jr., Aerostar, and Mr. Iguana. Okay, I will say this. This had basically everything. Great action, great lucha libre. And I gotta say it, Mr. Iguana brought the comedy. And this is, you don't get to see this very often. And if you followed Lucha Libre Sin Limite from AAA, Mr. Iguana is a very unique character, to say the very least. Now, I'm not going to call it anywhere close to like a Santino Marella type of gimmick or anything else, but Mr. Iguana brought a personality and brought a flavor to this matchup that literally got the internet a buzzing. Mr. Iguana is without a doubt a household name here today and tonight. The match itself was amazing. It was fast paced, great action, up and down. Whenever you see lucha libre, this is exactly what you're going to get to see. But they did dummy it down a little bit. Um, it wasn't like over. It wasn't out of control. Fast paced. They kind of try to play it in a WWE type setting. The crowd was into it, but again, Iguana came out and gave us a whole lot of good stuff in this matchup. To me, he was the highlight of the 6-man tag. This was easily 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. This was a great way to start the show, a great way to start Worlds Collide. And trust me, throughout the entire day, at least with Worlds Collide, you're not going to hear anything negative, at least coming from me. But this was absolutely a great jump off to the show. 3.5 to 3 3/4. Again, Mr. Iguana, it literally became the star of this matchup. Anthony, it is yours.
Yes, I agree wholeheartedly on that one. All right. Some things to take away from this. It would have been easy to forget this was a 6-man tag team match, as so much of the action was focused on Iguana, who was the crowd favorite. That changed late in the match, where Aerostar and Octagon Jr. pushed the speed of the match and picked up a nice win that set up a shock match announcement for Money in the Bank, because of Dirty Dominic Mysterio mocking Octagon until a fight broke out as everyone tried to break it up. And Dirty Dom challenged him to a match at Money in the Bank for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. So we'll get into that later. While this was more about Iguana, the show was trying to highlight Octagon. he should get a bigger spotlight later against Dom. Overall, it was a solid, fast-paced lucha battle relying heavily on the live crowd's reactions with a lack of story coming in. It might have worked better, though, if it was tightened up, as the best stretch was the final couple minutes by a wide margin. I'll give you the 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star for this. Some things here. Corey Graves was the play-by-play man with Konnan. And then you had beautiful national anthems. The Mexican national anthem, which I thought was really nice. And, of course, Lillian Garcia killing it with the Star Spangled Banner like she's always done. And then Ray coming out to talk up what Lucha Libre means to him. Iguana had the crowd chanting for him from the moment he got into the action, getting louder when he brought out La Yesca to help. And when Iguana used La Yesca again, Lince Dorado hit him with a standing shooting star press, much to the disdain of the live crowd. And Konnan rightly called out Cruz del Toro wrestling at a higher level than usual in this match, enjoying the long match time. So 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. Great jump off to this event. The presentation looked great. The anthems were great. And seeing Shawn and Triple H in the ring together always makes me think of me and MF. And that's all there is to say on that. So always great to see our boys together like that. So along with the president or the head person for AAA, a very well done beginning to that show with the pomp and circumstance before, and then the opening match. So yes, 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star here. So Michael Bullock, Phenom, come on in and score one for the AAA guys. The AAA guys winning this match 14 minutes and 10 seconds.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, what a match this was. 3.5, 3 3/4 of a star. I mean, I'll tell you what, I mean, me and Florio, we're not the AAA guys that like Fletch is, but I'll tell you what, with the matches that I've seen, I can definitely understand why Fletch has respect for this and why he's followed this for so long. And if you haven't seen it, you've got to go out of your way to see these guys because they are. But yeah, Iguana was the highlight here. I mean, but then again, both teams were the highlights. I mean, they entertained us from start to finish, and everything was good until Dominic Mysterio had to Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan had to ruin the fun, and basically was like, "Oh, I'm the greatest lucha libre of all time. My dad is a disgrace. He's a deadbeat dad," and all this lucha libre that AAA is a joke. Well, Octagon took exception to it, and Dominic decided to put the title on the line at Money in the Bank. For me, when it comes to this match, guys, at Money in the Bank, I think for Octagon, this to me, I mean, yes, this was for the Intercontinental title, but I think if you were to ask Octagon, and I don't know how you guys feel about it, winning the Intercontinental title was secondary. Because this was all about protecting the pride, the legacy of AAA that Dominic Mysterio disrespected.
I agree with that.
That to me was all about.
Yep.
Winning the Intercontinental title would have been something, but this was all about defending the pride and legacy of AAA. And Fletch, you know more about it more than any of us.
Yeah.
And for Dominic to disrespect and Liv Morgan to disrespect AAA and saying he's the greatest lucha libre of all time was flat out disrespectful.
The fact that the matter goes like this, and I'm not gonna go like I normally go, like go deep into the conversation here because I do want to get it done early tonight. Is this? You absolutely are correct. This was about lucha libre. This was about AAA. This was more than just a regular match. This was about the honor, the tradition, whatever you want to say it. That's exactly right. But if you're Dominic Mysterio, you needed to get nuclear heat because it looks like the fans were starting to turn as him as a baby face. So how do you do it? By basically going into a pro Mexican crowd. And oh, by the way, that was a very, very, very boisterous Mexican crowd, more than Americans, on this show, and you thrash them. You thrash the name of AAA. You go after the Mexicans. You bring that nuclear heat, and the other thing is, you also brought Liv Morgan. She's a lightning rod in her own right. So it was calculated. It was perfect. It was it was a brilliant move to bring Dominic on that show to disrespect the Mexican culture, Mexican wrestling fans, to do all that because that's exactly what you needed to get to reignite the heel heat, the go away heat that Dominic normally would
And
possess
he
in
did.
in every time. Because I'm going to be openly admit it, lately he's been getting more cheers. You heard it even in his match tonight, how they were chanting "Dirty, Dirty Dom." WWE fans are starting to turn and trying to maneuver Dom as a babyface. So, in this grand scheme of things, this was a necessary move to reignite the heel heat because you're not just doing it for a U.S. fan base, you're doing it on a Mexican fan base, and that's where the difference lies. And
And
that's
this
why this was perfectly executed.
and it's basically to remind everyone that Dominic is still a heel.
Yes, they
That's
needed
how
to.
and they
They
needed to and
needed
they
to
and they executed it perfectly.
because fans were starting to hijack the moment. People were starting to cheer Dominic, and WWE, for some reason, lost their way because the fans were hijacking that moment.
And they
But
knew they had to get it back.
and they got it. But the thing is,
WWE had to get it back. And
but the
and they
thing
did it perfectly.
Yeah. And the thing is again, because you did it to a different fan base. AAA is a different breed, ladies and gentlemen.
Hmm.
That's the thing that I think a lot of you guys don't understand is that AAA are very passionate about their
Hmm.
Mexican wrestling. They are very passionate about their luchadors, about the mask, about the culture, about the wrestling. Go out of your way to watch that video at the beginning of the event that Rey Mysterio narrated. That is exactly why AAA is what it is today. Go out of your way to watch that at the beginning of the event.
Hmm.
The narration by Rey Mysterio said everything you need to know about AAA, Sin Límite, and Lucha Libre as a freaking whole. There's nothing more for me to add. So, with that, we move on to the next fight of the night, which was the tag team match. Uh, Chick, Tormata, and Dalise, they went up against NXT's own Lola Vice and Stephanie Volker. And it was Stephanie Volker and Lola Vice winning the match in 9 minutes and 35 seconds. Anthony Florio, it is yours.
By default, the worst fight of the night. This never really got going. Less than 10 minutes, it was mostly about putting over Stephanie Vacour down the stretch. It may have worked better as an NXT TV match. The drama of Vacour facing her former mentor Dalise never translated well to the action in the ring, leading to forgettable action. At least La Primera looked good and came out fresh for her ladder match later tonight at Money in the Bank. Corey Graves and Conan put over Lola Vice's disadvantage and experience against her opponents, as well as her advantage in terms of her unique MMA-inspired style. Negro Casas watched in the crowd and supported his wife, Dalise. And Vice and Vacour hit the Devil's Kiss in unison together to the loudest reaction of the crowd so far. And afterward, Vero Rodriguez interviewed the winners, and La Primera promised she was still ready to fight in Money in the Bank later on. By default, this was the worst fight of the night, although not remotely bad. It's just the other matches were just that much better. Solid 3 stars. That's the best I can give it. So, outcome never in doubt. Nothing more. Michael Bullock, all yours.
Yeah, it was a solid 3. I mean, by default, it was the worst fight of the night, even though there wasn't anything remotely bad about the match. And like you said, it was just the other matches on this card were just better. So yeah, so there's really nothing more for me to add on to it. So it's yours, Fletch.
3 stars. Yeah. It was solid. It was good for what it was worth. I loved that the double devil's kiss was absolutely flawless. I couldn't I know somewhere Booker T was probably doubly happy on that one. It was a fine matchup. The outcome never in doubt. This was one of those where, like you said, they needed it to give Stephanie a little bit of a momentum. My niece was very happy. She even said that she made it out. We're all good. This was the one match she was concerned because remember, because later on in the evening she got the Money in the Bank ladder match. So you kind of had to worry about, oh, what happens if she gets hurt? What happens if that goes down? No, it's all good. He's fine. He did. He came out of it awfully well. Did not suffer any major injury. So life is good now with her going into that Money in the Bank later in the night. So yeah, at the end of the day, it's solid 3. We move on to another 6-man tag team fight, as it was Legado del Fantasma, Santos Escobar, Angel, and Berto. They went up against 3 members and 3 big names in AAA. El Hijo de Dr. Wagner, Pagano, and Psycho Clown, winner of the bout in 15 minutes even, was Legado del Fantasma, Santos Escobar, Angel, Humberto, Michael Bullock. It is all yours.
What was the time of the fall?
15 even.
Yeah, this was a solid match here. I mean, I'm gonna give this about maybe another 3.5 to 3 3/4. I mean, and I'll tell you what, guys. I think Legado really needed this because I'm sure you've seen there have been some tension with Legado, especially with Berto, and hopefully maybe a victory over those 3 from AAA. Maybe it's something they needed. So we'll see. We're gonna have to keep an eye on this to see if this mends any fences from the tensions that's been going on. So it's yours, Fletch, and I'm gonna ask you: does this ease some of the tensions that's been going on with Legado, especially with Santos and Berto?
I think it does. I think it does. I think they were on the same page, and it actually did work. Um, do I think that it's gonna go beyond what they did? I don't know, but I will say this: it was a nice win for them, no doubt. Um, Big victory for Legado de Fantasma. They needed it more than anything else, and it was a nice showcase for guys like El Hijo de Dr. Wagner, for Psycho Clown, and for Pagano. They looked amazing in the ring. But Legado was able to maneuver around and get that kind of thing. And if you really think about it, it makes logical sense because the first fight of the night, Team AAA got the victory. This time they give the win back to Team WWE, Team NXT, whatever you want to call it. They got the win back, so it evens out at least when it comes to the 6-man tag, it evened out the victories. So Team AAA got the first one. Team WWE gets this one. It evens it out. So at the end, no major problemas or no major problems here. Fine matchup. Legado gets a big win. And like you said, Bullock, that was a must needed because there was so much drama going on between this crew. We didn't know if it meant what was going to mean down the line. But hey, they got the win. So good on them. Anthony, it's yours.
I got to be honest, this was a little sloppier than the opening 6-man tag, but much better at selling the drama of the action. It was easy to get behind the AAA stars fighting off Legado del Fantasma. On a fresh stage with so many fresh faces introduced to a new audience, this was a chance to sell 3 of the more unique stars of AAA, and it was a mixed result. Pagano had the worst introduction, missing his marks multiple times and rarely selling the action. Psycho Clown and Wagner, though, looked like they belonged in a big way and kept the action rolling with the great heel trio on the other side. The crowd was genuinely invested in Pagano, Psycho Clown, and Wagner emerging victorious, which made Legado's win feel like it mattered. Hopefully, this is only the beginning of Santos Escobar making the most of this AAA partnership to raise his stock again. And after a few miscues in the ring, Pagano went for a diving somersault plancha, but Escobar saved Angel, leaving Pagano to hit the floor. And afterward, AAA aired a vignette highlighting the impact of the original WCW When Worlds Collide event in 1994. So this is about another 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. So no doubt about that. A little surprised with this outcome here. I thought Wagner, Psycho Clown, and Pagano were going to win this match because of the
I remember we talked about that yesterday too. Yes,
Thursday, but I was a little surprised by this outcome. I did not think Legado was going to win this. I thought the tension was going to bite. I thought the chinks in the armor were going to show again, but no, they somehow found a way to get it done. So kudos to Legado for figuring that out. So maybe this is where they start, making the way back up. We'll see. So it's a good start. So 3.5, 3 3/4 of a star. Let's move on to our next match. We got title matches the rest of the way.
Yes, we do. 2 title matches to boot, and we started out with the NXT North American title as it was all ego Ethan Page versus Javon Evans versus the Laredo Kid versus Ray Phoenix. Winner of the bout in 14 minutes and 55 seconds, and still the NXT North American champion, all ego Ethan Page. I believe this. Well, actually, I started. Solid fatal 4-way, really good matchup. This is, I could easily say 4 or 4.25. This was an excellent matchup. Yes, the outcome was never in doubt. All Ego should have won this. Did deserve it. I didn't feel like there was any real major stakes here, even though all 4 absolutely tore the house down. The crowd was eating it up. It was a great matchup. But again, All Ego finds a way to get the job done and to keep his title. Anthony Florio, All Ego successfully defends the NXT North American Championship, and it is yours.
This match picked up the night in a big way from the second minute as Ray Phoenix and Javon Evans tried to outspeed one another. The pace never slowed, even with All Ego keeping the heat on him throughout. While it would have been great to see more AAA talent in single spots like this, it is hard to argue that this was not a perfect lineup to drive the action to a show stealer. Ethan Page just won the North American Championship, so it was unlikely he was going to lose the title. The action, though, sold a couple of dramatic near falls. This would have been a perfect moment for a crowd-pleasing title change. The young OG had the whole crowd behind him down the stretch. And Laredo Kid came out with his AAA World Cruiserweight Championship, the only AAA championship highlighted besides the Mega Campeon, which we're going to get into in a bit. Conan took full credit for discovering Ray Phoenix and making him a star. He also stated Phoenix was the real reason this partnership came together. Evans dived over the top rope and threw Page over the Spanish announce table. Phoenix caught Laredo with a Spanish fly, but Page grabbed him afterward for the Eagle's edge. Evans broke up the pin with a springboard splash. And afterward, AAA hyped the history of Triple Mania as must-see with the next edition of the event on Saturday, August 16th. I'm sure MF's going to be all over that. And that's really all there is to say there. So I could easily give this 4 stars. This was an incredible match. You can make an argument for Fight of the Night if you wanted to, but the other match, we're going to think about that one. So 4 stars, one of the fights of the night for sure. No surprise with the outcome. We all knew Ethan was going to retain. He just won it. It would have been a disservice to him if he had lost it that quickly. So there you have it. Not much more to say. Michael Bullock, your thoughts as Ethan Page successfully defends the NXT North American Championship in an outstanding 4-way, 4 stars.
Yeah, 4 stars for me as well. I mean, you could definitely make the argument for Fight of the Night, but man, I mean, what a match this was when you have all 4 guys like Ethan Page, Javon Evans. Yeah, this was definitely a match that everyone's going to be talking about. So, but the champion stays the champion. So, nothing more to say. Let's move on, Fletch.
Yeah, so here we go. The main event of the evening, as it was the AAA Mega Campeón on the line. The champion, El Hijo de Vecino, puts the title on the line against Chad Gable, winner of the bout, in 22 minutes even, and still, el físico completo del Mega Campeón de AAA, El Hijo de Vecino, meaning still the AAA Mega Heavyweight Champion. It was El Hijo de Vecino. So, Anthony, 22 minutes. What says you?
Fight of the Night. That's what says me. 4.5 stars. Absolutely amazing. Where do I start? After an afternoon of fast-paced action, Chad Gable set a much more deliberate pace early in this bout. That pace showcased Vikingo's overall game in the ring. The champion impressed throughout with his unmatched high-flying ability, but also kept up with the challenger technically and in the striking game. For those that knew the greatness of the champion, this may not have been a surprise, but WWE fans witnessed so much of what makes Vikingo great for the first time. This was the clearest and strongest indicator of the WWE versus AAA showcase of Worlds Collide, and the champion looked like he was just a little better throughout than one of WWE's top rising heels. The match perfectly closed out the afternoon and will be easily the most celebrated part of the show. Hopefully, it is only the beginning of finding new ways to celebrate the best talent of AAA for a WWE audience. Vikingo successfully met Gable on the mat early, much to the surprise of the challenger. And the champion blasted Gable on the back with a 630 splash to the floor off a rope walk. Challenger set up a table outside early, but after multiple teases, Gable moonsaulted into Vikingo on the table. Vikingo nearly picked up the win off a springboard, twisting 450 splash. Gable went for a moonsault, but Vikingo ducked it and headed to the top. Gable caught him with a super pile driver for a near fall. Awesomeness. Champion caught the challenger with a drop kick into a diving Mexican destroyer on the apron for another near fall. The AAA roster came out to celebrate Vikingo's victory, ending the night with the champion on Wagner's shoulders. Fantastic. 4.5 stars. Fight of the night for me. Excellent main event. Not much more to say. Michael Bullock, I don't know if you've seen Vikingo wrestle before, but if you did, you were damn sure in for a treat here today. So, What an incredible match. 4.5. Fight of the night, 22 minutes. What says you?
Yeah, 4.5 for me. Fight of the night. I mean, Elio, he definitely really impressed me. I mean, with the things he could do, and that's why this was. So many people say right now he's the best lucha libre wrestler in AAA right now. I mean, heck, he's got that title, and Chad Gable gave him all he can handle, and yeah, and I mean, part of me was I mean, believe me, guys, through this match, I was a little concerned because I thought maybe the Creed brothers and Ivy Nile would get involved in this match because, I mean, because of, well, it's not just Chad Gable's hatred for Lucha Libre wrestling, but they hate it too. And I was thinking, oh, they're going to help Chad Gable win this match, but that never happened. And when you got a clean match like this, I'm happy about it. So, but yeah, 4.5 stars for me. It's your Sledge.
Yeah, no, and I get where your concern was because with the Mega Campeon on the line, and there has been some notorious where there's been some screwy finishes in these championship fights. So you kind of feel like, oh my God, could this be an overbook? Could this be everything else? Well, we had an overbook when Alberto El Patron or Alberto Del Rio fought against El Hijo de Vecino last weekend, where the Mega Campeon changed hands. Um, there was an overbook finish. So I get it, and I understand the concern and the nervousness of the match, but they wanted it to tell a story and wanted everybody to see how great the champion is, El Vecino. And I think that's why I think you got a lot of people who really loved it. That this was such a solid match, that this was a great wrestling battle, and that's why we got the outcome that we got. So, was I a little nervous about it? Yes, but they tore the house down. That's exactly what you wanted it, and a great main event and a great outcome for this match to end the way it did. So, to me, this was easily fight of the night. 4.5. You can even say 4 3/4. There are some people that's calling it maybe a fight of the year candidate. I'm not going to disagree with that. I think this definitely has a good chance at fight of the year when this is all said and done. And a lot of people were very high on this pay-per-view more than anything else. So with that said, Anthony Florio, it is all your. Well, actually, I believe it goes to Michael Bullock. So you have us on the overall review for Worlds Collide, and then we'll get into Money in the Bank in just a matter of moments.
Yeah, this was a really good show. I mean, there was really nothing that bad about it at all. I mean, you had plenty of good matches here. I mean, were there some things that I thought could have been better? Perhaps. I mean, but there's really, really nothing that much to complain about. I will give this I'll give this about maybe 8.5 to 9 on this one. So it is yours, Fletch.
I'm getting a lot of 8.5s from a lot of the fans in the internet wrestling community. A lot of the content creators were giving it 8.5s. They were giving it high numbers, high marks, and even some people even is saying that this was better than Money in the Bank. We'll get into Money in the Bank in just a little bit, and spoiler alert, the ratings are going to be a lot more lower for Money in the Bank than they were for this show. So yes, there is an agreement here, at least in my opinion, that I thought that this was a lot more better than anything else. So yes, I thought they did a really good job. I'll easily go 8.5 for this one. I thought Worlds Collide absolutely delivered in so many ways. A great introduction to the American audience who's never seen AAA before. This was a tremendous introduction for them. And for the Mexican fans that's never got to see NXT, I think this was a great introduction for them. This was absolutely a very successful event, and I truly believe that I really hope that they do more of these in the very near future, because more AAA action, especially to get them into this U.S. market, is going to be a godsend for them. Give them the opportunity to really do their great action, and I trust you. They got a great future in this history. So nothing more to say, Anthony. It's yours.
8.5 for me as well. This show is truly incredible. There was not one match on this show that fell below 3 stars. And not only did we get some of the most amazing in-ring action that we have seen in the calendar year of 2025, but we also got the chance to be educated on the history of AAA and how much of a driving force it has been in terms of not just lucha libre, but the sport of professional wrestling as a whole. You need to watch this entire show. But if you don't, at least check out the final 2 matches. Then you're doing yourself a complete disservice. And that's all I can honestly say about it. Incredible show. This is definitely going into our list of top pay-per-views of the year for sure. Will it be the pay-per-view of the year? I don't know. We'll see. But it's definitely a worthy candidate. I will go as far as to say that. So 8.5 for me. Let's get to Money in the Bank.
All right, and we started it off with the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. It was Alexa Bliss, Julia, Naomi, Rhea Ripley, Roxanne Perez, and Stephanie Vapor, the winner of the bout. In 25 minutes and 15 seconds, Naomi is Miss Money in the Bank. Solid opener. Very good matchup. Anthony, I'll give you the props. You called for Naomi to win the Money in the Bank. And she did. She got it. So you definitely got this one right. She was considered one of the favorites going in. I think we all can agree with that. But the thing is, for me personally, it makes the most logical sense. Her heel work has been absolutely amazing. Her body of work has even given us a reason to believe that she was going to be a major player here, and she is. Now you can see the opening that she is most likely going to go after Tiffany Stratton. If she gets the belt where, if you win the Money in the Bank, no woman has ever lost in that championship match. Every time a Money in the Bank holder has cashed in the contract, they had gone on to win the title 100% of the time. They have gone on to win the championship, and they've literally gone on to become the champion and successful. So at the end of the day, it really depends on how it plays out. But if this opens up, if Naomi gets the belt, you got 2 already opponents that you can look at. Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. And they're gonna work that around. Those 3 women. Hopefully she stays on SmackDown, depending on the draft situation. We don't know when it's gonna happen. We heard it's maybe soon, maybe in about 2 months from now. But if I'm WWE, I'm hoping, or if you're SmackDown, you're hoping that she stays on SmackDown and does not fly the coop to Monday Night Raw. Because right now the opening is there. With Naomi, there was a number of different people that could have won the Money in the Bank. Roxanne Perez would have been a logical choice. Naomi was a logical choice. Obviously, if you wanted to go Rhea, I would have kind of did that with the fingers on the nose, like, all right, fine, whatever. I wouldn't want Rhea Hogan to get the Money in the Bank, but if she got it, fine, whatever. I don't give a damn. But and even Alexa Bliss would have been a fine choice to win it. So the only reason why I'm not putting Stephanie Vapor or Julia, they're too new. They're too new to the company. They just made the main roster. I don't know if that would have been if that would have done any service for them to win it. I know a lot of people would have been excited to see Julia or Stephanie win it, but I think it would have been too soon for them to get it. The other 4 would have been fine. Obviously, I would not have been overly happy with Rhea winning it, but I thought out of the other 3 that I said, I would have been fine with Alexa, would have been fine with Roxanne. I would have been gladly with if Roxanne got it. But with Naomi winning it, not mad, because if there was ever one person that was most deserving of the Money in the Bank, she's it. Because her body of work on SmackDown, her heel character is just so damn good. It's just a damn shame that not enough people realizes it or notice it. But she's been so damn good on SmackDown and been one of the biggest reasons why SmackDown's women's division has been really good lately. Now with her with the Money in the Bank, I can only imagine what she can do with this now. This is a great moment for her. Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah, I believe I had this one there, guys. I told you. That's all I'm gonna say. What did you give a rating for this, MF?
I would give this about 3.5 to 4.
Yeah, because these matches are tricky to rate. So I think 3.5 to 4 is right. You can make an argument for more if you wanted. I mean, maybe 4.25 at the most. Let's see. The announcers made a big deal about most of the competitors having no experience in Money in the Bank before this event. But in fairness, 3 of them have only been on the main roster a few months. Even though it was every woman for herself, we still saw a standoff between the 3 heels and the 3 baby faces to get the match started. It didn't take long for those alliances to fall apart, though. It took several minutes for anyone to successfully stand up a ladder to climb, which helped make it feel a lot more competitive once it finally happened. This was a very physical match that put all 6 women through the ringer. Nobody escaped without being part of at least one dangerous spot, but almost all of them went off without a hitch. The crowd was going wild for everything and chanted, "This is awesome," more than once. We eventually ended up with 3 ladders set up as a bridge from corner to corner that resulted in dual code reds from Bliss and Perez to Naomi and Vakur. After taking down Rhea Ripley and Alexa Bliss at the same time, Naomi climbed the ladder and retrieved the briefcase to win the match. This was fantastic from start to finish. Vakur was the only competitor in this bout who wrestled at Worlds Collide and Money in the Bank. Also competed on SmackDown last night. So this was her 3rd match in under 24 hours. Think about that. So the way Rhea sold the facebuster into a ladder was awesome. Roxanne had a nice sequence with Rhea that ended with a moonsault onto the ladder. And Julia and Roxanne tried to slam a ladder onto Rhea, but it just ended up hitting the top rope instead. So I'm actually going to give this about 4 to 4.25. So very good start. And they got this one right, with all due respect. Naomi, I felt, needed it more than any of the 6. For Roxanne, Stephanie, and Julia, a smidgen too soon. But don't worry, all 3 of them are going to get their moment soon enough. You know that's coming. Don't be discouraged by what happened tonight. Those 3 are going to be just fine. Trust me when I tell you. Rhea honestly didn't need it. Alexa didn't need it. Alexa's already won it, been there, done that. So she didn't really need it. So that left Naomi. Naomi's the one who needed it more than anybody. You know, she's been middle of the road since she came back to WWE. She had a great run in TNA. We all remember that. And here, you know, I felt she was kind of a middle of the road, somewhat underutilized, but I'm glad that they finally recognized her talents here tonight. And we'll see when she's ready to cash in. We'll see if she can keep that perfect record going. So there's a very good chance it could happen. So Tiffany Stratton, Io Sky, y'all better watch your asses and proceed with caution. So good for Naomi. She damn sure deserves it. So 4 to 4.25 stars for me. So Michael Bullock, Naomi got the win. I believe I had this one.
Yeah, you did. I mean, 3.5 to 4 for me. I mean, yeah, like you said. I mean, Rhea didn't need it. Alexa didn't need it. But for the 3 that you mentioned, their time will come. I mean, they just got to the main roster, and now that I think of it, it wouldn't made any sense to put it on them right away. So Naomi was the obvious choice, and I don't know if you guys saw on the post show where there were fans that were chanting like "You deserve it" to her, and she basically told them to shut the hell up. And
She just playing the classic heel, Bullock.
classic heel, because that was basically her basically telling them you had a chance to get on. I mean, to support me, and you didn't. So
Yep.
get off the damn bandwagon.
Yep.
Because
That's part,
I don't take
part of the work.
bandwagoners.
Yep. That's part of the work. Well
Mm-hmm.
done. That's what's going to make her so damn good. I like it. I applaud it. Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, she could have caved in, but she knew she had to stick with her heel mode, and basically, she wants people to not like her,
Yeah.
and that's the way to do it.
Yep.
So, yeah, Tiffany Stratton, Io Sky, you better watch your back and proceed with caution because Naomi is lurking and could cash in at any time. When? Who knows? It's yours, Fletch.
All right, indeed. And we do go on, and we did reference this earlier on the show, but this was the moment where it happened. It was Dirty Dominic Mysterio going up against Octagon Jr., and this was for the Intercontinental Championship. The winner of the bout in 4 minutes and 55 seconds, and still the Intercontinental Champion, Dirty Dominic Mysterio. He wins it. Anthony Florio, it is all yours.
Yes, worst fight of the night. A late addition to the card saw Dominic Mysterio put the men's Intercontinental title on the line against the man he got into a fight with at Worlds Collide earlier in the day, Octagon Jr. And all I can say is it was too short a match. It was I'll say it like this: it was a short but competitive match. The worst fight of the night, obviously. I'll give it about 2.5 stars for the effort. And MF, you mentioned this earlier. Dominic has been getting cheered more and more lately. It feels like WWE. It feels like WWE is going to have to turn him face or give him something to do that gets him a lot of heat. And you definitely did that today. And Octagon landed on his side instead of his stomach when he hit a corkscrew splash from the apron. It looked painful for Dom. And Mr. Iguana got a big pop when he was shown in the crowd. So there was that. So worst fight of the night, obviously. Worst fight of the day overall. So short, but it was a competitive match. So I'll give it 2.5 for the effort. So no surprise with the outcome. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, Dum Dum, retains his Intercontinental title in 4 minutes and 55 seconds in the worst fight of the entire day combined.
I'll give this about maybe 2 stars. I mean, like you said, it was short, but it was competitive in the amount of time that it got. I mean, I would have loved to see more, but the thing was they added it just hours before the event, so it really didn't have much time for any build or what have you. So, but it was fine for what it was. Like I said, short but competitive. So it's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It was short. It was about a 2-star bout. To be real honest with you, I could have seen this on Monday Night Raw. This didn't need to be on the PLE. This wasn't a PLE level fight. This could have been something we could have seen on Netflix. Hell, we could have saw this. We could have saw this on AAA Se Límite, which is one of their weekly shows that they normally do. We didn't need. This was not a PLE worthy match. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna wax poetic about it. It was fine for what it was worth. It was a short bout. The outcome was never in doubt. Did not anybody really believe that Octagon Jr. was going to become the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion? No. It was, like I said, it was good. Nothing more to say. We move on. Next up, we did have on this fight card was Becky Lynch versus Lava Valkyria for the women's Intercontinental title. And in 15 minutes and 20 seconds, it was Becky Lynch winning the Intercontinental Championship. Michael Bullock, you alluded to it. History was made. However, we will not designate it with the unprecedented crowning that we normally would do if there ever was a new champion decide, because Becky did backdoor her way into that title. So it is yours.
Pulling the tights and getting the win.
Yes, exactly. 15-20, Becky Lynch, the new Women's Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah, like you. What was the time again?
15-20.
Yeah, I was gonna give this 3.5, but because Becky pulled the tights and didn't win cleanly, I'm gonna bump it down a little bit to 3.25. Still a good match, but yeah, just the ending just rubbed me the wrong way. I mean, basically using the tights, but yeah, and you could just see the look on Lyra's face. She was not happy about it at all, and unfortunately, because of that loss, she had to raise Becky's hand in victory. But that wasn't enough for Becky. I
Oh,
mean,
no.
she wanted her to raise her hand all around the ring. And just when you thought that was it, Becky said, "No, no, no, no. That's not enough. I want you to put that title around my waist." And you could hear Lyra was basically saying, "That was not part of the deal. That was not part of the deal." But
Mm-hmm.
Becky's like, "You know what? I'm adding it last second, so you're gonna put the title on me." And well, she did, but that was to the point that really pissed Lyra off, and said, "You know what? I'm gonna beat your ass up afterwards." And that's what she did. So Becky may have won the title, but Lyra got the last word.
Mm.
So I mean, sorry, Becky. There's only so much you can do before you push someone over the edge, and that's that's exactly what you did. So, and and like we said, putting the title around, I mean, having Lyra put the title around you was not part of the deal, and I think that's what pushed Lyra over the edge. So, nothing more
Mm.
to say. It's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, it was the constant disrespect because he raised her hand. Okay, that was fine. But then she wanted her to do it like once around, do that like around the entire ring. And that was where Lyra was like, wait a minute, no, 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 no. That's not part of the deal. She's like, oh, and she just wanted it to do it. Then, obviously, she really wanted it to really goat the moment and milk the moment by basically saying, now you got to put the title around my waist, a la what you see at the UFC. This is classic TKO UFC type thing where normally, whenever there's a championship fight, doesn't matter what the weight division, what battle it is, the belt normally goes around the waist of the winner in any form or any fashion. So they wanted it to do it that way. They did it. But Lyra was so pissed off about the whole situation that she's like, enough of this. I'm going after you, and I'm gonna make you pay for all the shenanigans. And that was when she dropped her with that she hit her with the German and then led it into the Nightwing. So yeah, so it was fine for what it was worth. Um, Again, not a great match. It was a 3-star bout. Really nothing more to say. And Anthony, it's yours.
3.5 stars for me, to be honest with you. The match got more competitive as it progressed, and Valkyrie was able to get in more offense, but Big Time Bex still seemed to have the upper hand more often. The crowd broke into dueling chants as they started getting closer to the finish. Both women were looking strong, but the champ was beginning to put up more of a fight and make the man rethink her strategy. On a show with 2 ladder matches, they managed to make sure they were not overlooked. Becky was not able to win with a super manhandle slam, so she resorted to cheating by pulling the tights and getting the win. Becky played up being a heel by making Lyra raise her hand and strap the title to her, but Lyra hit her with a German suplex and a Nightwing to shut her up. And it's easy to forget how strong Lyra Valkyria is because of her small stature, but she was having no problem throwing Becky Lynch around. And Lyra had a big welt forming on her back by the end of the match. So I would have given this around the 3 3/4 or a 4 or so, but I'm bumping it down to 3.5 for me. The match was too good, even with the clunk finish there. But perfect way to get Becky over as a heel here. So a little surprising. I mean, we all thought Bayley was going to come back here, and we all thought that Lyra was going to retain, and we all thought that that this title was going to be beneath her. But I guess she wanted another accolade there, guys. So Becky got what she wanted to pad her resume. So there you go. So 3.5 for me. So with that being said, let's move on now to the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. And these matches are very tricky to rate. I'm not going to kid you.
Yeah, it was. And here we go. So here it is. It was Andrade, El Grande Americano, LA Knight, Penta, Seth freaking Rollins, and Solo Sikoa. And the winner of the bout in 33 minutes, 35 seconds, and Mr. Money in the Bank, Seth freaking Rollins. He wins it all. Okay. It was fine. The match was good. The outcome, again, never in doubt, because Rollins was by far considered one of the biggest favorites, and he won it. Okay. There was a lot of overbook. Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed came out. We had obviously Jacob Fatu, and we also had JC Mateo come out, and it was unreal how they played out. Could have it been better? Maybe, but at the end of the day, Rollins winning, no big surprise. Everybody thought Rollins was going to win it going in. He was overwhelmingly one of the big favorites, and it just never. It was very evident that was probably going to be the outcome. So, yeah, it's about a 3.5-star bout. Again, I'm punishing it for the overbook. We had a lot. Solo got jumped by Jacob Fatu. I hate you, Solo. And he beat the living daylights out of him, costing him the Money in the Bank. That was incredible. Again, there was a lot here that we can talk about. Big win, to say the very least, for Seth freaking Rollins. And one thing that actually was addressed was that Triple H then go on social media and says, "Congratulations, Seth. You're one step closer to having all the power." Why on earth did you just send that out, Triple H? What in the hell was that? What do you mean? One step closer to taking power. I mean, that's an interesting thing for somebody who's the head of creative in WWE to basically put that out on the internet for the whole world to see.
Did he just give away what could possibly happen?
I have no idea. I have no flipping idea. But I do know one thing. It was a great outcome. So, fine. What it's worth. Anthony, this was about a 3.5. Because, again, I'm punishing it because of the overbook. It's yours.
I agree. 3.5 stars. Let's see. Much like the women's bout earlier in the night, this immediately turned into a hard-hitting fight with a lot of risks being taken by various competitors. The crowd chanted for tables as more ladders started coming into play. It didn't take them long before people started climbing ladders in an attempt to win. All 6 guys ended up on ladders together at one point, but everyone eventually crashed and burned. This match had a lot of high-risk moments, which is to be expected with this stipulation, but that didn't make it any less impressive when they pulled off the big spots. This match was overbooked, but in a way that helps a bout like this be more entertaining. For once, interference actually added to the story instead of feeling like a crutch to keep a feud going. And let's see, Andrade sunset flip powerbomb from the ladder almost ended badly due to how he landed on his knee. Props to Seth Rollins for helping the ladder with Americano on it keep its balance. Even with all of the ladder spots, the most impressive thing might have been Jacob Fatu hitting a pop-up Samoan drop to Bronson Reed. Absolutely incredible. So it is a 3.5-star match, and a lot of overbooking here. And Seth Rollins getting the win here. Can't really say I'm surprised here. Me personally, I was pulling for LA Knight to win this match. I wanted to see LA Knight get the win here.
Quite a few of my friends also was pulling for LA Knight as well. Yes.
Yeah. I came across one interesting scenario on social media saying, have LA Knight win it here tonight and then have him cash it in on Raw Monday night and become the new World Heavyweight Champion on either Jey Uso or Gunther. That would have been a monumental moment, but that's obviously not going to be the case here. But we'll see what happens. I think what Triple H meant in regards to the congratulations, Seth, you're one step closer to having all the power. When you have money in the bank, the main goal is to successfully cash it in and become the World Heavyweight Champion. And I think what he meant was he's one step closer to having all the power that comes with being the World Heavyweight Champion. I mean, when you're the champion, when you're the WWE champion or the World Heavyweight Champion, you do have the power in a sense. You do. And that's why not just those 6 guys in this match, but every man and woman who leave their families 300 plus days a year, or however many it is now. I'm sure it's still 200 or so, but I know it's not as many as it was before under the previous regime. But the point I'm trying to make here is very simply this. The objective, the only reason that they're all in this business is because they want to be the best. If the 3 of us were in that business, we damn sure would want to be the best. I may not be a wrestler, but when I wake up every single morning, I strive to be better than I was the day before. And on top of that, all of these men and women leave their families for a good 200 plus days a year to ply their craft in that ring for one reason, to be the best in the world. And they will stop at nothing to do so. You wonder what that tweet meant, MF? I think I spelled it out for you. So you become the champion, you become the man or the woman or whatever, or in this case, the man. You're the champion. You're the face of the company. You get all the perks. There's perks that come with it. Power, in a sense. So, and if there's anybody out there who's not in the business to become the best, what the hell are you doing there? There's the damn door. Get the F out. Simple as that. If the 3 of us were in that business, we'd be busting our asses night in and night out to be the best. I know I damn sure would. If I were to be in that business, my reason is for one reason only, to be the man, to be the World Heavyweight Champion or the WWE Champion, so I can not only give myself the best life, but to give my family, my friends, and my loved ones the best possible life that they can have. And I will damn sure see to it that they get it. Period. End of statement. End of quotation. 3.5 stars. Rollins one step closer to having all the power. Yeah. The power that goes with being the champion of the world. Simple. 3.5. Bullock, how do you follow that?
I don't know how in the world I'm going to follow that. And after the way Florio just described it. I'm not even going to even bother trying. So all I'm going to say is I'm going to give this 3 1/4 because there was just a lot of overbooking here. I mean, the match was good, but it's just the overbooking that really just took some of the stuff away from what was at the time a good Money in the Bank ladder match. I mean, it still was, but it could have been better if all that overbooking didn't happen. So nothing really more for me to say. So I think it's main event time, Fletch.
Yeah, right. And here we go. It was the tag team matchup. It was John Cena and Logan Paul. They went up against the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, and main event Jey Uso. The winner of the bout in 22 minutes. Even it was Cody Rhodes and main event Jey Uso. And boy, holy cow, did we get a surprise. R-Truth showed up and attacked, got a little payback on John Cena that led to the downfall for the last real champion, as it was the American Nightmare getting the win, and more importantly, possibly getting a championship committee moment in the process. But Anthony Florio, the internet is absolutely buzzing as it looks like we all got swerved by WWE and R-Truth. And my goodness, what is the talking point gonna be now?
R-Truth is back with WWE and will be going under the Ron Killings name going forward, his real name, at least initially. The decision to bring him back happened over the last 72 hours. From what I am hearing, a lot of people are saying, oh, this is a work. This is a work. PW Insider is reporting it's not. And the last time I checked, PW Insider is a very reliable source, is it not? So if they say it's not a work, I believe them. So just trying to, R-Truth is indeed back and will be going under the Ron Killings name going forward. He was in discussions with several about appearances and independent booking several days ago. So the decision to bring him back happened over the last 72 hours. And WWE already has merchandise for him back up on their website.
Mm-hmm.
So what does that tell you? So, Truth is back in some form or fashion after pretty much the entire roster and internet, social media, what have you, pushed back against WWE's decision to let his contract expire. And that's all I can give you for right now. If anything comes up, we will most assuredly let you fine folks know the latest about this on our future content, like Ridiculously Raw or Cerebral Smack Talk or what have you. But anyways, let's get into this match here. I thought the first half of the match was slow and methodical. The crowd seemed to be having a good time, but it felt like the competitors were intentionally holding back so they could amp things up later on. And you notice the heels had the upper hand for most of the bout, while Jey Uso took the most damage. Eventually, and Michael Bullock and I, we actually chatted during this match. John Cena and Logan Paul started having issues, and I told Bullock, hey, we got some chinks in the armor here. And as they argued, Jey made the hot tag to refresh Cody. And Logan Paul accidentally nailing John Cena with a splash when Cody avoided the impact, but nobody was able to capitalize on it. All four men were down in the ring. Logan Paul hit a moonsault on Jey Uso through the announce table, which made me a rare time for me to do the Joey Styles. Oh my God, on that one. I hope I did it justice, MF. But he took himself out in the process, leaving Cena and Cody alone in the ring. Referee Ryan Tran was distracted when John Cena used his title as a weapon. Gee, where have we seen that before? WrestleMania and Backlash. And then someone dressed in black attacked Cena and took him out, only to reveal himself to be R-Truth, Ron Killings. Crowd went ballistic, Road Warrior style pop. And then Cody hit Crossroads to get the pin and the win. The bout started pretty slow, but it picked up in the back half and ended up being better than expected, especially with the cameo at the end. Some of the drone shots WWE used looked way better than others. The quality of the cameras varies wildly. Cody did the Stardust cartwheel and got a little pop. John Cena and Logan Paul were arguing after tagging themselves in and out a few times. Cody hitting a superplex to Logan Paul as he held the drone was an awesome shot. And then moments later, Jey Uso came in with an Uso splash. So that's that. 3.5 stars once again. That's the best I can give it. But let's not forget we got two important things that came out of this. First and foremost, the shocking and surprise return of R-Truth, Ron Killings. And of course, the other big thing. Cody Rhodes pinned John Cena. What does that mean, gentlemen?
Championship committee moment.
Yep. Cena's that should open the door for Cody to be the next in line for the WWE title.
Here's the thing, though. Remember, it was announced last night by both general managers, SmackDown general manager Nick Aldis and Raw general manager Adam Pearce. They made it was a joint announcement by the two of them. They both announced that last night's SmackDown that we're getting the King and Queen of the Ring tournaments are coming back. 4 fatal 4-way matches, and then I believe the semifinals and the finals will be at the Night of Champions event in 3 weeks in Saudi Arabia. And just like last year, the winners of the King and Queen of the Ring tournaments will get the challenge for the championship of the world in the SummerSlam. So, we all remember what happened last year. Gunther and Nia Jax both cashed in big time. So it's very interesting. It all depends on who wins the King of the Ring tournament. If it's a Raw guy, well, that means and it will be against their brand's champion. It will not be, a cross-brand thing. So it's going to be very telling who wins that King of the Ring tournament. If it's a Raw guy, then we can easily do Cody and Cena maybe at SummerSlam. If it's a SmackDown guy, well, I hate to say it, I think they might do Cody and Cena in Saudi Arabia. But in all honesty, I don't want to see them do it in Saudi Arabia. I want to see it at SummerSlam.
They got to do it at SummerSlam. I mean,
it's not worthy of Saudi.
It wouldn't make sense to do it in Saudi Arabia.
But again, like I said, it's going to be very important. We got to keep an eye on who wins that King of the Ring tournament.
Yeah, because if it's a Raw guy, then
we're good.
I think you can automatically say Cena and Rhodes for SummerSlam. But if it's a SmackDown guy, then maybe it's time to start worrying.
And it's going to have to be Saudi. Then it's going to have to
even though we may not like it.
Not a Saudi word. I mean, I'm sure the Saudis would love it. I mean, I know the Saudis would love to see it. I'm sure they would.
But for us, it's
no.
It's not worth it for the Saudis.
Save it for Sunday night, August the 3rd. That's all I can say. Because remember, SummerSlam
either
is 2
way,
nights now.
We want to see this happen at SummerSlam.
Because that's a SummerSlam. It's a SummerSlam / Big Four worthy. Big Four pay-per-view worthy main event. So that's it.
If WWE
guy,
is smart,
I hate to say it. The only way it's going to happen in Saudi is if a SmackDown guy wins the King of the Ring.
Yeah. If WWE is smart and if they want to do Cody and Cena for SummerSlam, they got to have a Raw guy win the King of the Ring.
Fine with me. Fine with me. Gives me the
I mean, it'd be
bragging
good for. I mean, not only good for Florio, but then it'd be good for the WWE universe because then that would mean we would get Cena and Rhodes for the title at SummerSlam.
Because think about it, last year's King and Queen of the Ring, I believe both went to SmackDown, if I remember correctly. Nia was SmackDown.
Wait a minute, no.
And
I think wasn't good. No, Gunther's a Raw guy.
Gunther was Raw.
Nia Jax was SmackDown.
Yeah.
So I think it was a split.
So, I mean, is it possible we get that again? Get a split where the SmackDown gets the women and the Raw gets the men?
Fair's fair, right?
I mean, that would make logical sense.
One for me, one for you. Fair.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be mad at that. So, or do they switch it up? I don't know.
Yeah.
So, but the point is, most importantly, it's going to be very telling who wins that King of the Ring. SmackDown guy wins it. Hate to say it, Cena and Cody will be in Saudi. No choice. But a Raw guy wins, it's all gravy. Then it's gravy after that, boys. Then and only then, we'll get Cena and Cody too in the SummerSlam at MetLife. Most likely Sunday, August 3rd. So that's it. So 3.5 stars for this. That's the best I can go. So, but hey, Michael Bullock, at least we got the outcome that we wanted. That's for sure. Yeet. One word, 4 letters. Yeet.
Yeet. Yeah, definitely. 3.5 stars. I mean, you basically said everything when it came to this, but now the $1 million question is, what's going to be the condition of Jey Uso heading into his World Heavyweight title match come Monday night after the beating that he took at the hands of Cena and Logan Paul? That's going to be the telling story come Monday night. And like you said, also the disconnect when it came to John Cena and Logan Paul, and with the way John Cena kept tagging himself in, I don't know if you guys are going to agree with me. I think it's John Cena's ego. He didn't want anybody else taking the how do I say it?
He didn't want the spotlight to be overshadowed.
Yeah, he didn't want Logan Paul to have the spotlight.
He didn't want to share the spotlight with anybody.
The spotlight should only be on him and him only. And it ended up, even though it was more R-Truth that cost the team the match, but
yeah, there were the chinks in the armor. You noticed there were chinks in the armor in that match. So yeah, even though R-Truth or Ron Killings was the main reason why they lost the match, but even when they couldn't coexist as a tag team because there was too many chefs in the kitchen, as they say.
Yeah, and like I said, Cena didn't want Logan Paul, didn't want to share the spotlight with Logan Paul. Even though going into it, he was saying all good things about him, but did John Cena really mean it? After what I saw tonight, I'm gonna say it wasn't it's an emphatic no.
Yeah.
That he didn't really mean any of it. He was just pretending.
He was gaslighting Logan Paul.
Yeah, he was just gaslighting Logan Paul just so that way he could have the main spotlight.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the whole thing with this whole Cena heel run. So, yeah, so Cena, you're going to have to basically look at yourself in the mirror, and yes, R-Truth was the main culprit, but you were the one that led to the downfall of your team. All because you just wanted the spotlight on yourself. And what's the whole thing when it comes to a tag team? You need to coexist as a team. A team.
And MF knows this. MF knows this better than anybody. Me being the Jesse the Body Ventura. When it comes to tag team action, one simple rule: keep that man in your corner and deliver some punishment.
And if you think about it, during that match, they did for most of that match. Logan Paul and John Cena were working at a team, and then it was the blind tags that kind of started the chinks in the armor. But the biggest thing was Logan accidentally hitting Cena. That kind of started the downfall. But like you said, it was Cena's ego that also cost them the match as well. So,
But
Bullock is right.
but Cena's gonna flat out.
Oh no, he's gonna throw it at the immaturity and the stupidity of Logan Paul is why the reason that they lost the fight.
And he's also gonna blame the WWE universe. When in reality, like all three of us, we know that it was Cena's ego that eventually led to the downfall.
Yeah.
So, 3.5 stars. I think it's on to overall thoughts. I think, and I think Florio leads off.
It is. Yep, Anthony.
Yeah, buddy. Wouldn't have it any other way. All right, here we go. Saturday's Money in the Bank PLE ended up delivering some fun action and a few surprises along the way. But the thing everyone is going to be talking about is the return of Ron R-Truth Killings. Whether this was the plan all along or a response to fans being upset that he was released remains to be seen. But his appearance got the biggest pop of the night. As for the matches, the 2 Money in the Bank bouts stole the show like usual. The men's match had a lot of memorable moments, but the women outshined them bell to bell. Naomi and Seth Rollins were the 2 most logical winners in the stories they told in their matches, helped make their wins feel justified, even if the Visionary had to rely on some outside help. All in all, this was an entertaining few hours of WWE action after Worlds Collide earlier in the day. I will give this in excess of 7.5 to 8 out of 10 for me. Not much more to say. Michael Bullock, your thoughts? And I gave it 7.5 to 8, just in case.
Yeah, 7.5 to 8 for me as well. I mean, still a good show, but overall, I thought the Worlds Collide was far beyond better. That's not to say that Money in the Bank sucked. I mean, it was a good show, but there were some things I thought that definitely could have been better. So, nothing more to say. Fletch, you have the final say.
I'm going 7. I know there's some people out there that's giving it like 6.5, 6. There's a few that I saw that gave it like a 50-50 around like 5. So, I mean, it was all right. It was good. It wasn't anything spectacular. I could say 7 is probably my best bet. At the end, yeah. It was fine for what it was worth, and there's really nothing more to add. So we're done. We're out of here. We're back on Tuesday night for another edition of Ridiculously Raw, hosted by Anthony and Florio. Anthony will have, obviously, Monday Night Raw, the fallout from the Money in the Bank, and then we also got the NXT show. Maybe they reference the Worlds Collide. I don't know. We'll see. But more importantly, on Monday night, we also start the King and Queen of the Ring tournaments. So we'll see how that plays out. Thank you, Anthony Florio. Thank you, Michael Bullock. Thank you, everybody. Like the video, leave a comment, share with all your friends on all the social media platforms around the world. Have a good night, everybody. So long for now. Bye-bye.